Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about Iron Age fighting and fighting in general. So, if you are just starting Forge of Empires, the game, and you're not really sure how to fight, or you're still in Iron Age and you're not doing very well fighting, I'm just going to go through a few tips and tricks, how-tos, just a quick playthrough, just to show what you might do in order to help you out. So, the main thing with fighting is that you have a bunch of different types of units. And in Iron Age especially, there's 8 units that I would say that you could use. Starting with the normal units, and we'll get into those. The Mounted Warrior is a fast unit. What that means is that its movement speed is very high. It can go very far in one turn. Its attack and defense, the two main abilities that it has. They're average, and then it's a range of 1, which means that it has to be directly next to the person that you want to hit. Now, the type of unit is important because similar to if you've ever played the game Rock, Paper, Scissors, scissors beats paper, paper beats rock, rock beats scissors. That's similar to how the units play in this game. There are always units that are effective and vulnerable to other units. So in this case, the fast unit has an attack bonus, if you see there at the bottom, an attack bonus against a ranged unit. So then if we go over here to our ranged unit, the archer, the ranged unit has a high attack, very low defense because you're trying to keep it towards the back of your army. It has a fairly good movement speed, but it has a range of 5, which means that it can hit people from 5 tiles away, which is good if, you don't want them to get hit and, you maybe have people behind. There's certain types of terrain like woods or rocks, stuff like that. Now, the one thing that I will say about some of these units is that they have a terrain bonus on top of bonuses against certain types of units. So you see here at the bottom of the archer, it has an attack bonus of 2 if it's standing on rocks. And it also has an attack bonus against heavy units. And if a heavy unit attacks it, it has a defense bonus as well. And all units have that attack and defense bonus against at least one other type of unit. So we'll go over to a heavy unit now. And there's 2 types of heavy units in Iron Age. There's the Legionnaire, which is just the regular type of heavy unit. It has a very high defense, same range as the Mounted Warrior, a range of 1, which means you have to be right next to the other unit. The movement speed is decent, and attack bonus against the light units. Defense bonus on planes. And when you hover over the tiles, and we'll get into a battle shortly, when you hover over the tiles, it will show you what type of terrain it is. So that's the first type of heavy unit. The second type, if we go all the way to the end here, is called the Color Guard. And this is special because if you see here below the heavy unit title, it has no age. So technically you could use this unit for any age that you're playing. I would say that you probably want to avoid that just because the attack and defense don't increase as you go up in age. So you might want to use stronger units in the later ages. But this unit, again, high defense, fairly high attack, good movement speed, range of 1. Now, some units, this unit being one of them, have something called skills. And this skill is that he has a rally, which means that everyone that you're using in your battle gets a plus 12% attack and defense bonus. Now, it does say there that it does not stack, but it says that it does not stack. What it means is with other color guard rallies, right? With other color guard skills. Because then we'll go over to a light unit, the military drummer, another special unit. And the light unit basically just means that it can move very far, still a range of 1, but its skill also has rally. It gets plus 6% attack and defense. But if I were to add both of these units, the military drummer and the color guard, both of them would add that bonus. So it's only the same unit would stack. So right now I have 3 military drummers. If I put 3 military drummers into my selected army, it would not get plus 18%, it would just get plus 6%. Military Drummer also gets one other skill called Morale. And what this does is it adds an extra little point of health or armor that all of your units get when they're in the battle. And I'll point that out when we get into the battle. And then lastly, I think we have two more left. We have the other light unit, which is a soldier. Again, very high movement speed, not as high as a mounted warrior as the fast unit, but good defense, good attack. It actually has an attack bonus against the fast unit, and its defensive bonuses in the bushes and in the forest, which, as you'll see, if you start hiding your units inside of those types of terrain, it really does boost, how much they get hit. Or I guess it lessens how much they get hit. That makes more sense. And then lastly, you have the artillery unit, the ballista, and this has a range of 13. So as you get up in the higher ages, some of these artillery units can hit basically from the other side of the map, which is it's very helpful. Especially have slower units on the other side that can't get to you within 1 or 2 turns, and you've been attacking them the entire time. And again, the terrain bonus on the ballista would be on hills, which makes sense. They have a higher viewpoint, they can shoot farther. I like that they try to make that kind of make sense. So let's get into a battle now. So I'll put one of each unit as we're going. And if you have rogues, I won't use rogues. Well, I guess I'll use one rogue. But if you have rogues, I would suggest checking out my other YouTube video, which I'll flag up at the corner right now. Just a flat how to fight. Usually what you do is you use one unit with 7 rogues. And I would suggest that over pretty much any different combination of units that you could use here, just because it's so much easier and it's so much better to fight with. But now I'll use these different types of units. Now, if you're fighting in Guild Expedition, you will see what you're fighting against. But if you're doing something like this, where right now I'm in the Guild versus Guild map, a lot of people call it GVG. If you're fighting in this, I don't know what I'm fighting against. So in that respect, I think that it's important to use different types of units because you don't know what you're going to go against. I just put my siege army there, and basically what that does is that they have to fight against all of these units in order to break my siege. So I'll load up again all of my units. So I'll attack. I don't know what I'm up against. We'll see. Okay, looks like a pretty easy army to beat. It has some rogues, which I would say if you're going to try to defend town, if you're going to try to put up defense, do not put rogues up. And I'll show you why. As you can see here, my first unit, the fast unit, which makes sense, should go first, is the mounted warrior. I'm hovering over it right now. It's currently on a plains. You can see the terrain that it's in. This is a forest. These are rocks. It does make it very easy for you to figure out which terrain is which. So since it's so fast, I'm going to have it go all the way up. I want to get there on the next turn. I want to go attack them on the next turn. So then I'm going to move up with my light unit. And if you can see, it's probably kind of difficult, but there's an extra little light blue box next to the 10 blocks that they get for armor, health, whatever you want to call it. And that is what my military drummer is giving. That's the extra little +1 stack. Alright, so I'm going to move up with my archer, and he's going to move up with his archer, and I'll move up with my heavy unit, and I'll move up with my military drummer. Now, you can see the ballista has a very large range. So I know that the ballista is good against heavy units. He has a heavy unit here as a color guard. So I'm going to move up so that I can hit that heavy unit with my ballista. And it does a lot of damage to it. It does really well. I'm going to move up my rogues. He'll move up his rogues. And then it's the beginning of the battle again, right? So it basically just circles back. My mounted warrior is first again. My mounted warrior is good against ranged units. So it has a lot of ranged units here, right? It has 4 archers. So what I want to do is make sure it doesn't have a terrain bonus. It doesn't. So I can attack this from any tile that I want. And I'm going to run up and I'm going to attack this ranged unit here. And I do a lot of damage to it. Then I'm going to run up with this light unit. Now the light unit is good against fast units, but the opponent doesn't have any fast units, so I can just go against whatever I want. So I'm going to run up and I'm going to attack this archer here. Now, as you can see, the one nice thing about rogues is that they turn into whatever other unit might be on the field. It's random. You can't tell them what it is unless you only have one other unit on the field, right? And like I said, if you check out another YouTube video, it'll show you if you have 7 rogues and 1 normal unit, all of those rogues are going to turn into that one unit. So luckily, this rogue turned into a mounted warrior, which is, like I said, this person has a lot of range unit. My archer is going to attack his archer. It's going to kill it. My heavy unit is still making its way slowly. My military drummer is going to attack. Now what you just saw there was the military drummer got attacked by someone, and since it is a single range unit, someone attacks it, it can attack back. And for the most part, a lot of the melee, which is the +1 range units, a lot of those units can do that. I'm going to point this out now. This is why you don't want rogues in your defensive army, because I can avoid attacking this rogue, just move my mounted warrior over here for the time being, just to prove a point to you, okay? So we have 3 rogues. They haven't been attacked yet, so they haven't turned into any of the other people. So I'm going to attack this archer. I'm going to attack this archer again. Now, watch what happens when I attack this rogue when there are no other units available for it to turn into, okay? Watch what happens to it. Gone. Doesn't matter how strong it is. Doesn't matter what they say the damage is going to be or retaliation or anything like that. It's dead. It can't turn into anything else, and that's it. It's that easy to beat. That's pretty much it. I think I'm going to start going through all of the ages. Like I said, this is kind of an introductory to fighting in general, to the types and the terrain bonuses, stuff like that. So this was specifically for Iron Age, but as we go on, I'll make more videos on, early Middle Ages and late Middle Ages and all the way up. And then this also kind of showed you what happens with guild versus guild as well, right? You have to have a siege army, in order to make sure that you can keep attacking. They have to defend. So thanks very much for watching. I appreciate you taking the time to check this out. If you have any comments, please leave them below. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Keep on jamming.